YouTube? This is ParkerLad88 coming at you with another video. And in this video, guys, there's something actually kind of important that we need to discuss. With Ryu and Chun being out, did you ever just scroll over to them, select them as characters, then you went to their move list because they were, fresh out the gate, new characters, and you saw all this weird stuff under their special moves, and you were like, what are all these crazy inputs and attack buttons and stuff in order to do special moves? I thought this was Power Rangers, where you literally just press the special button to do special moves. Well, this is how special moves were traditionally done in fighting video games, and in this video, we're actually going to talk about it. So, for Ryu and Chun, we're going to be talking about motion inputs and charge inputs. So, let's go ahead and get started. Special moves are traditionally in fighting video games a combination of your directional inputs and attack buttons, and your character will throw out a move that is unique to their playstyle and usually has some extra properties, whether it's like a surprise attack that closes distance quickly, being able to attack from across the screen where other characters might not be able to reach you, or maybe it just does a little bit of chip damage, something like that. There are traditionally two different types of ways you can do special moves, and the first one we're going to talk about is with Ryu here. Ryu is what you would call a motion-based character as far as his special moves. If you look at his command list, his special moves require you to do a series of inputs on the directional pad before pressing an attack button in order to make that attack come out. Let's go ahead and start with the Hadouken. So in order to do the Hadouken, what you want to do is a combination of down forward, forward, and an attack button, all in a quick session. The first thing I want you guys to do, for those of you who have never ever thrown a special move in your entire life, what I want you to do is put your thumb, the ball of your thumb, in the center of your D-pad. This shouldn't be anything special because this is just part of how you traditionally hold a controller. Your thumb just naturally rests in the middle of that D-pad. Now, what I want you to do is rotate your fingers around the D-pad and look at the left side of the screen where the command list is, and you'll see that I'm actually rotating this in a circle, right? I just want you to get used to actually how that feels. Now that we've established that this actually moves in a circle, as opposed to pressing each of those things individually, what the game wants you to do is rotate your fingers from the down position to the forward position. This is referred to as a quarter circle forward. Just like that, that is referred to as a quarter circle forward, because as you rotate, that's the full circle, and then from down to forward, that is 1/4 of that circle. And that's basically what the game wants you to do. It wants you to do that motion before you actually press the attack button. And if you do it, you should get the fireball. Now, there are a couple pieces of advice that I want to give you guys when you are attempting to do special moves. The first thing is going to be go slow. Focus on getting used to how it feels first before you actually speed up and actually try to do the special move. You can't run before you can walk, so don't be so focused on that. Get used to how it feels first with the rotating, so you get used to how that part feels, and then just get used to going down, forward, forward while your thumb is in the middle of the D-pad. Just get used to how that feels before you do the attack button. Then after that, try and do it a little bit faster. And as you progressively do it a little bit faster, you will see that fireball will come out. And once the fireball comes out, you will know the speed at which you need in order to rotate along the D-pad before you press that attack button. All in a quick session. The next thing that I would suggest for you guys to do is make sure that you're actually looking at the left side of what your inputs are showing, what the game is actually registering your inputs are, because when those special moves do not come out, the game is clearly registering something different from what you think you're actually doing. So just make sure you're looking on that side of the screen, make sure you're going from down all the way to the forward position before you actually throw that attack button. So those would be the pieces of advice that I would give you when throwing, your special moves out. Now, one challenge that I want to present to you guys is, in order to make sure you have a special move down, I want you to throw 10 consecutive special moves of any kind. So let's say we want to start with fireballs. I want you to throw 10 consecutive fireballs, but every time you successfully throw a fireball, I want you to jump over to the other side and throw a fireball from the other way. This way you're getting used to how it feels from both sides. If you can do this 10 consecutive times, then you have it. If you screw up anywhere in there, like maybe you don't get the full thing, then you have to start over. And just keep on going back and forth 10 times. Let's talk about the Tatsumaki Senpukyaku, or just the Hurricane Kick. Now, this is going to be referred to as a quarter circle back. So as opposed to the fireball, where you rotate from down to forward, you'll rotate from down to back with an attack button, and you should get the hurricane kick. So once again, try and do that 10 consecutive times on each side, and if you can do that, then it means you have that special move down. Now, this is probably going to be the most difficult of Ryu's special moves, and that's going to be his Dragon Punch, or his Shoryuken. Now, the easiest piece of advice I can give you guys for throwing out Ryu's Shoryuken is this. It's the same thing as throwing out a fireball, essentially. If we actually look at the command for his Shoryuken, you see that we have to do forward, down, and then down forward. So, it's kind of like throwing a fireball. So in order to get used to this, hold forward, and then quickly after that, do the fireball motion. And then after that, press the attack button. And then it'll come out. And that's just to get used to how it feels. Forward, and then fireball. Forward, and then fireball. All in a quick session. Once you get used to that, you won't have to hold forward as much, and you can just do the whole input. But just keep that in your head. Forward, fireball. And you should be able to get it to come out. And that's going to be like the base of Ryu's special moves and how you get those to come out. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is how you actually cancel your normals into special moves. The rhythm that you basically want to do it with. So, you basically want to throw a special move in the same rhythm that you would do like a chain of hits. So, light, medium, heavy. That heavy, you would then replace with quarter circle forward in that quick session. And you want to do it with the same timing as if you were throwing out that heavy. So as opposed to light, medium, heavy, it now becomes light, medium, quarter circle, forward attack. And once again, make sure you guys are looking at your inputs on the left side of the screen. Now, the challenge I would make for you for this one would be do crouching medium into a special move. Probably either the fireball or the hurricane kick. So, as opposed to something like this, where you have your crouching medium, crouching heavy, it'll just be crouching medium, quarter circle forward, or quarter circle back with an attack. And if you can do that 10 consecutive times, then it means that you guys have a pretty good feeling of what that cancel feels like, and then you can transition that into other things, like doing more hits. So I hope that is good enough for you guys to help you get started with throwing motion inputs for your special moves with Ryu. And this will be great because this will translate over into other fighting video games that you will play in the future. Now, let us talk about the other style of special moves, and that is going to be what are referred to as charge inputs. If we look at Chun-Li's move list, you'll see that she has at least a couple moves, like her Kikoken and her spinning bird kick, that say hold one direction, then press another direction with an attack button. But you're probably thinking, if you've never done a charge input before, what does that even mean? Hold? Like, hold for how long? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. So what this basically means, the way charge input characters traditionally work is that they want you to hold one direction for X amount of time, i.e. building a charge, and then after your charge is built, you will then press the opposite direction with an attack button, and your special move will come out. Now, the problem with this is that there traditionally is no indication for how long you have to charge for before you have the charge built to have the move come out. There's no flash or anything like that. You kind of just have to eyeball it. But I will give you guys this piece of advice. If you've never thrown a charge input before, hold down or back for about 2 Mississippis. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, then press forward with an attack button, and by the second Mississippi, you'll have your charge built. Same thing for down. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, up with attack, and you should get the spinning bird kick to come out. Now, maybe you guys are like, well, the problem with charge inputs is I don't want to move. Maybe I just want to stay in one place, right? Well, there is a solution for that, and that's called holding down back. Not only does holding down back prevent you from moving if you don't want to move, but it also charges both your back to forward special moves and your down to up special moves. So if I want to do a spinning bird kick, I just do up from the down back. And if I want to do a fireball, I'll just do forward with attack for the fireball. Pretty cool stuff, right? Now, here's where it starts to get a little bit more difficult, and that is when it comes to chaining it from your normal based attacks, right? But because of how Chun-Li works in this game, she actually has a couple of different things she can do to circumvent this. The first thing that I actually do want to tell you guys, which I should have mentioned before, is after you throw a charge move, make sure you go back to that charge immediately. So if you look on the left side of my screen, look what I'm about to do. You see how quick I went back to that down back? Because the thing is, as soon as you go back to that down back, your charge starts building from there. So this cuts down on the amount of time before, you know, your next charge, and you can actually throw that next fireball or that next spinning bird kick, you know, just whatever you want to do. So that's the first thing. But let's go back to the attacking and then canceling that into the special moves. Chun-Li has a series of like moves that will allow you to build charge in the middle of it. One of those things is going to be her slide. Let's say you're holding down back, right? You're roughly about here, and you've been holding for a little bit. You want to advance forward. You can do her slide. Her slide will help you advance forward while maintaining your charge, so when you're ready to let the move go, you just do it. Let's talk about some other things. So this combo right here, that part of her combo will allow you to build a good amount of charge. You have to hold the back while you're actually doing an attack, and that will help you build charge. By the time I actually get to that slide, I have my charge built, and then when I'm ready to do the other part of the special move, which is literally just doing forward and attack button, the move will come out. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's talk about some other things, some other more creative ways that we can actually do special moves, or one of her other special moves, because we've been talking a whole lot about our fireball, but what about other options from like our spinning bird kick? Well, let's say we're in a combo, right, and we do her special into her lightning legs, right, which is her quarter circle forward with attack. You see how long she stays in that for. We can literally be holding down this entire time. And by the time I get back down to the ground, my charge will be built up for my spinning bird kick. So during one of the combos that I actually do with Chun, like right after her super, I will actually do a launcher, do the heavy lightning legs, and as soon as I input that quarter circle forward command and the lightning legs come out, I'm automatically back to down. I'm automatically back to down, getting ready to build up that charge. Because the second part of her lightning legs, I actually do a kick that does a ground bounce. So by the time all that happens and I get back down to the ground, I have my charge built for spinning bird kick, so I just let it fly. So there's something else you guys can think about whenever you're working on doing your charge cancel inputs for Chun-Li. And once again, for all of this stuff, make sure you guys are looking at your command list over here, and make sure you guys are starting slow and getting to the way that it feels before you actually focus so much on the special move. So same thing with Chun. You want to go down back traditionally, so you have a way to build both your charges, forward, and then attack. We start slow, it didn't work out that time, let's do it a little bit faster and see what happens. Okay, I still didn't do it fast enough, let's try it a little bit faster. And that will help you guys figure out the timing you need in order to get these special moves off. So guys, that'll pretty much do it for my summary of motion inputs and charge inputs for Ryu and Chun. I hope you guys could take something away from this. I really wish that I could have like another camera over my controller so you guys can actually see my fingers and how they're moving and stuff like that. But you know, hopefully with time, I'll be able to accumulate more money, so I'll be able to have like more cameras and cool stuff for more exciting videos and stuff in the future. But anyway, guys, that will do it for me. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and I'll be back to you later with future videos. This is Parker Ladd, and I will see you guys next time.